Very weird.
T3 Media.
Through the media.
Well, prepare yourself, guys. Chris with Talking Through the Media is your home for entertainment news and reviews by fans for fans. We're going to go over some of the latest developments that's going on in the over the internet and whatnot. Joining me tonight, as always, is my lovely wife, Joy Fagan. Hey, babe, how you doing? All right. Yeah, we are going to we're going to discuss all these a few. Well, no, you know what? Just one major topic. As you can see on the thumbnail, I broke my rule that I said I don't know. I think I told you about this, babe. I said I was told not to mention a certain YouTuber on this channel, but I think this time it's valid. So it's not what you think it's going to be, but we're going to talk about it. So the question is, John Campea. He recently had a conversation about the Jimmy Kimmel situation that happened on his channel. I'm sorry, that didn't happen. The Jimmy Kimmel situation, and he discussed it on his channel. And he doesn't usually talk politics and everything. So if you guys don't know, so Jimmy Kimmel was canceled. He was taken off ABC. You know, the Trump administration pretty much was like, it'd be a shame if something happened to you. We're gonna pull your fucking license. And they got Jimmy Kimmel off, and then MAGA was all celebrating and everything. And then John Campea talked about it. He doesn't usually talk about politics, but because it affect entertainment news, it was something that he felt the need to talk about. I know I was told or advised, don't talk about John Campea. You seem to be obsessed with John Campea. I follow John Campea. I like John Campea. I've had my criticisms of John Campea. It's probably why he's restricted me from his channel. It's fine. I don't care. I don't hold grudges. Still love you, John. But this counts, right? Right? What are we talking about? Did John Campea go woke? Well, let's ask. What do you think? So this whole situation with Jimmy Kimmel, real quick, before we get into the whole situation, babe, what do you think? Based on the conversations that John Campea had with Robert Meyer Burnett on his channel, what do you think? The question is, did John Campea, in regards to this topic, did he go woke? What do you think?
Because he was in.
Because he commented. His channel is about movies and movie news. He doesn't talk politics, but he decided to talk politics this time. Is he woke?
Woke for discussing it because it involved a major company that deals with movies.
Yeah, right. It involved the FCC.
And there was such a big uproar about it that it was potentially affecting things that could affect movies.
Read between the lines. John Campea went woke. No. So that's the question. Did he go woke? Well, the question, it's a weird thing to ask. Why? Well, what's the definition of woke? We already know what me and you, we know because, we're critical thinkers and we're fucking smart. We know what the real term woke brought up and coined in the African American community back in the 1930s, believe it or not. Something that has been around for a long time, but in recent years it's been redefined. Woke is now being systematically redefined as something as you're being too sensitive. You're a snowflake. Blah blah blah. Stop talking about race all the time. But the question is, did John Campea go woke? Maybe my thumbnail was a little clickbaity because the answer is yes. But it's not a bad thing. Yeah. Why? Because he's aware. And he got on his channel and he spoke the fucking truth. He spoke the truth. That this current administration used their influence, they used the government to censor Jimmy Kimmel. That's 100% what happened. And if you're one of these people who think that's not what happened, then you're an idiot. I saw a comment on our channel that said that Jimmy Kimmel wasn't put in jail. He's not in jail. So it's his First Amendment wasn't violated. You don't have to go to jail to have your amendments violated, your constitutional rights violated. Most of these things are litigated in court. But I digress. I mean, that's just something that's just a fact. All right. So let's talk about it. Let's go into what happened with John Campea. So on the John Campea show the other day, he talks about this. And we're going to react to it real quick. I had a whole bunch of other topics that I wanted to discuss, but some personal developments happened. That's why the show was a little bit delayed. But we're going to talk about it. We haven't done this on this channel on T3 Medias in a while. I was guilted. I was shamed. Don't talk about John Campea. He limited you from his channel for a reason. Why? Because I called him out on him constantly bringing up Chris Brown every time he wanted to talk about domestic violence. That's why he probably, my assumption is that's why he limited me from his channel. He hasn't blocked me, but he hid me. I learned that later. And I called him out on it. I'm not a Chris Brown supporter, but I got tired of hearing Chris Brown come out of his name every time he wants to talk about domestic violence from actors. There was, especially when we were living in a time when other actors were also guilty or accused of the same thing. He kept going back to the black guy, but I said it like that because that's how I felt at the time. I'm not accusing John of anything. Look, this is what John Campea had to say about this topic. Let's get into it.
Jimmy Kimmel comes back to television tonight after a very short absence in what is probably going to be one of the most hotly anticipated monologues in late night talk show history. I'm sure it'll be very calm. I'm sure it'll be very measured. It's going to be pretty interesting to see this come back. Disney came out and said that, it's important to keep in mind that when Disney pulled him off the air, they did not say it was permanent. Right? They never said that his show is canceled. They said they were pulling it off, whatever. And I think that was probably a good strategy to kind of react quickly, but give themselves some wiggle room to kind of figure out how they're going to manage it and what they're going to actually end up doing. Well, they got a lot of pressure from a lot of different people and a lot of different angles. And now Jimmy Kimmel is coming back. After reports, and I can't verify independently that this is true or not, after reports that the Disney Plus cancellation page was literally crashing from the amount of people going to cancel Disney Plus after all that. So he's coming back, and he's coming back tonight. Now, this is a wide-ranging thing because, again, we're talking about late-night entertainment that is specifically coming under direct attack by the government.
And right there, I saw right there because, fair use. They don't want us to just stream other people's stuff. But that's exactly what it was about. It was about Jimmy Kimmel's First Amendment rights being attacked because of influence by the government. And like I said, John Campea is 100% right. If you believe that Jimmy Kimmel's First Amendment rights were not being violated, you are a fucking idiot. The government, this administration was leaning on him because because the president just personally just didn't like him. I mean, am I right about it? Am I crazy? What do you think, babe?
Oh no, they definitely infringed upon rights, and I know a lot of people are.
You have people that you even know.
There's a lot of people, that are like, they tried to reverse psychology, stuff that happened during COVID. Yeah. The saying of you do have the right to say anything you want, but jobs don't have to take it. Right. So they use that, try to reverse it by saying, oh, he was free to say, and he did, and that's what happened. He got what happened. What happens? They don't have to keep him on if they don't want to. Not well.
And then now, but now that the Almighty has decided that now the rule is if anybody has criticized me or if I don't like them, I'm just gonna violate their rights. And now those same people are like they're not saying nothing.
Most people, as it is with most things, don't really know how all of that works. Yeah. They only know the little snippets of what they've heard. And so their understanding of things is very limited.
Yeah. Dumbasses. Yeah. Yeah. No, I won't sugarcoat it. Fucking morons. Jimmy Kimmel got on his show and he discussed that the MAGA group were trying to disassociate themselves from that person who unalived Charlie Kirk, which is true. There were even Congress people who were like, before they knew who the person was, they were like, oh, it had to have been somebody from the left. It had to have been some crazy far left nut, something blah blah, blah 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 blah. And then when it came out, oh, he came from a conservative family, then that same person was like, we need to pray. And I wish you can push that button for me. I feel like for me, we should pray for, like, you want to pray for them now. But before we knew that it was, before we knew who the person was, it was like, oh, and that's all Jimmy Kimmel really said.
Well, and he said some stuff about Trump.
And you mostly criticized Trump, which as an American, you are allowed to do. How many people call Obama fill in the blank? How many people call Bush fill in the blank? Clinton, fill in the blank. Reagan, fill in the blank. But for some reason, they all acted like adults and just like, you know what? I'm the most powerful man in the world. I don't give a damn what these haters say. I'm going to just keep rocking in a free world. But not Trump. I don't like that. So, we get what we get, and you don't, and only he's allowed to throw a fit. But I digress. Let's move on. I won't bore you with the full thing that I'll get to the major points that Campea talked about. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Oh, wait, nope. YouTube. Sorry guys, I'm streaming this directly from YouTube. I didn't download it, so sorry. There was a dumbass commercial that pops up. All right, let's get into it. I think it's it. All right, sorry about that. Here we go. This is what he said.
I want to have that rule rescinded.
Yeah, they're not only seeking permission to do something, they're asking the FCC to turn a blind eye to the actual rules. And so it's not a coincidence.
Before the midterms.
Yeah, before the midterms. It's not a coincidence that when the FCC...
And that's the most important part right there. You're trying to use your influence to change the rules. The FCC is not supposed to allow any entity, any company to have more than 39% of control of the airwaves in America. And they're trying to just rescind that rule to give conservative companies more than 39% influence over the airwaves. So the only content you're going to see is probably pro right-wing content. You're not going to see as much left-leaning. It's not going to be fair, for just in layman's terms. This has been in place for years, but because he's the second coming, he can get away with this. Like no, that's what they're talking about.
Kimmel is back on he's back on ABC.
Yeah, but two companies that control a lot of territory in America were like, we're still not going to syndicate them.
Yeah,
which is a preview of the problem. They're trying to have a monopoly of what we're allowed to see. Yes, I may be left leaning, but I'm not going to suppress you for being on the right, your ability to get your word out. If you can get your word out, I want to hear, or I want to get the other side's word out. To be fair, I'm personally in a situation where it's like I feel like I'm being fair, and then the other side, the opposition, is trying to monopolize and be. It's this. So this is a touchy subject for me. So it's like, why are these people so damn scared? They got to change the rules. They got to flip the table over because you know why? Because they know that they're fucking losing, and they are losing the plot. So they have to cheat. So they have to get the FCC to censor people. They have to use the government. The amendment says that the government will not infringe on these rights of yours. The government. I don't care that if Disney upon themselves, they go, you know what? We're not feeling you anymore, Jimmy. You're fired. But when the president should not be allowed to go into your job and go, I don't like you. You're fired. I don't work for you. Who the fuck are you? You don't get to come in here. Go do your job. Where's your wife at? She don't even live with you. How are you going to come in my job and tell me I'm fired? You don't even live with your wife. Shut up. Who are you? But anyway, let's keep going.
DC chair came out, Brennan Carr, and said, I don't know, maybe something should be done about these late night guys, or we might have to get busy over here at the FCC. It's not a surprise that then Nexstar said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Whatever you say, sir. As long as you approve our acquisition and let us break the rules. And they went ahead.
I like the way he said it like that, because that's exactly how I felt. Yes, master. Yes, I will take Jimmy's off the ass. I heard you didn't like that. Yes.
And they did that. And then Disney, getting their broadcast license threatened, they temporarily pulled Jimmy Kimmel off. Listen, and for any of you who are under the misguided impression that this whole Jimmy Kimmel thing is about anything other than that, guys, they're not even pretending anymore. They're not even hiding it. They're not even trying to act like that's not what's happening now. They're being overt about it. Listen to a couple of these things. So, journalist Brian Stelter, he wrote, I asked a question to the FCC chair, Brennan Carr, if he had any new comment now that ABC had pulled Jimmy Kimmel show off the air. This is the head of the FCC. This is supposed to be the grown-up in the room. At least pretend like it's about something else. Instead, he posted this. He replied with this. This is clearly, yup, we're getting our way. We're getting our agenda done. That was the office meme. And he immediately, like later on, after Jimmy got reinstated, he immediately retracted. He was all like, we never threatened. We never threatened Jimmy Kimmel. We never said, yes, you did. You did it like a mafia boss. It would be a shame if something happened to your little network or some shit like that. Because ABC is trying to close this deal with this syndication shit, and you influence the FCC to make the president feel better with his because his nightlight stopped working and he's squeezing his plushie. It's a little too tight. He doesn't feel good. If I make him feel bad, fuck him. Like I'm like, who? Like again, who is he to tell anybody that they can't? Or it worked for Stephen Colbert. He's moving down the list. He's going after who's the other guy? John, from a Closer Look. That guy. Seth Meyers. He's going after Seth Meyers. He's definitely going after the ladies from The View. He wants to. Oh man, he wants to take Whoopi down like the Titanic.
He wants Jimmy Fallon, all of them.
He wants Rosie O'Donnell to be brought back to the U.S. so he can deport her again. He wants all this stuff. He's not even pretending anymore, and everybody's acting like it's not a big deal. But even Ted Cruz, that asshole, even he said, this is a can of worms that will bite us in the butt. But they're trying to do everything they can to prevent like the midterms from happening properly, so they don't lose control and they don't lose the Senate, and that a Democrat can't become president in the next presidential election. They're trying to put those rail guards up. So they're like, just do it. Just put those guards up. The thing of the Project 2025, do it. Fuck it, do it. That's what they want to do. Because they know what they're doing is wrong. So the question is, are we going to just let them get away with it? Are they just going to get away with it? And everybody who supports him is like, oh, it's right. It's ordained by God.
It's just funny that, I don't know if you watched any of Jimmy's monologue when he came back.
A little bit.
And because you mentioned the whole Al Capone style,
Mm-hmm.
that he had Robert De Niro on as a skit last night.
Okay, and Robert really doesn't like his ass.
To make fun of
the president,
the FCC as acting like,
be a shame if we, something happened to your little network, your little fucking ABC here. Always be capitalizing, I guess. I don't know what ABC is now supposed to. I don't know. But the fact that ABC just came back and recanted and whatnot, even Joe Rogan predicted all of that. It was crazy. But let's keep going. Let's fast forward a little bit.
The big nod. They're not even trying to hide it anymore.
Project 25. This
Even
was all in
Donald Trump
Project 25.
himself. This is from the BBC. Donald Trump himself isn't even hiding the fact that he has a mandate to eliminate and get rid of anybody that is critical of him. Said this, I have read some places that network, remember, this is the same guy who got on national television and said an immigrant community was stealing and eating people's pets because he read it in a random Facebook post. Even when the local government of that town, even when the local police department of that town corrected him and said there's no truth to that, they kept saying, no, these immigrants are eating people's pets because he read it someplace. Anyway, Donald Trump said, I have read someplace that the networks were 97% against me. Again, 97% negative, and yet I won easily. The president said, they give me only bad publicity and press. I mean, they're getting a license. I would think maybe their licenses should be taken away. They're giving me bad press. I think we should take away their licenses.
Away,
guys,
because they're giving me bad press.
They're not even trying.
It's not, him being made fun of is not new.
Right.
SNL's been roasting him for years.
Yeah.
And he's made comments about it.
Right.
Saying it's not funny, they're terrible, but that's the end of that.
Right. Hell, Fox News was even sued and had to pay almost over $1 billion for blatantly lying. Did Biden threaten to have the FCC take their license? No, because that's not how it's supposed to do things. They got caught. They had to pay restitution. They got sued. They lost. They paid the money. Then slap on the wrist. But Trump gets to go. You know what I'm saying? Whoopee. I don't like it. Fuck them. Take it. But he gets to get away with that. It's bullshit. But let's see.
Trying to hide it. They're not even trying to pretend anymore. They know they have so many people in their pockets already that it doesn't matter anymore. And now that sort of stuff, and this has been going on in other areas of society and life for a long time, but now it's completely crossing over into entertainment. Now it's affecting everything. So facing a lot of backlash, Disney decided, we're going to put Jimmy back on air, and we're going to put him back on air tonight. I know a lot of people are going to tune in with a lot of interest to see what he's going to say, and also with great interest to see what he's not going to say. Because I have to.
And I'll cut down to it the conversation
with ruggable, washable rugs.
Sorry about that, but I didn't watch the full monologue and everything. But I mean, it's just. I mean, what I did see was that he explained himself and was like, everyone was saying that I was making fun of the death of a young man, and that's not what I'm doing. And it's funny how you remember, you reminded me of this. I said that, remember when he was on his show and he cried about something, and it felt like he got a lot of support for that, and you reminded me about what that was about. Remember that years ago?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's been quite, and this is way pre-Trump. It's way back that when he and his wife had a baby, the baby was sick, and had to be admitted into like the NICU.
Right.
And he was saying that it got him thinking about how he has the luxury of knowing he can afford to pay for that care.
Right.
But he thought about how so many people can't. And that really hurt him deeply to think about all these people, normal people of the world, who can't afford that care for their child, their loved ones.
Oh my God. Are you telling me that Jimmy Kimmel showed empathy? Oh my God. So woke. But yeah. And then the same people that supported him for, showing that much empathy for people who can't afford that type of health care are probably, some of them are the same people that are like, I'm glad he got pulled off the air for talking bad about Donald Trump. Yeah, he criticized the president. So what? What about everybody who criticizes, the Jasmine Crockett, or when they made fun of Nancy Pelosi's husband when he got beaten in the head with a hammer? What about that?
Yeah, they were like, someone needs to get that man out of jail, and we need to party for him. Like, yay!
Why are we pardoning people who break into the Capitol? But Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, people who just do what comedians do. There are comedians on the right who talk nonstop about Kamala still, Hillary still, Obama still. Why don't they get threatened? Because those are the same comedians that were like, you need to learn how to take a joke. You're too sensitive. You're too woke. You're too fucking woke. You make fun of Trump. Oh my god. And then they all of a sudden they all disintegrate into them. They implode into themselves. But anyway. Let's just see what's going on. Here we go.
First of all, I find this whole situation very, very interesting. You know who we haven't heard from during this whole kerfluffle is Jimmy Kimmel himself. He was very careful because there was all kinds of legal ramifications to what they've done, what things that were actionable. I'm sure Disney didn't talk to Jimmy Kimmel at all. They talked to Jimmy Kimmel's lawyers.
I agree. I 100% agree with that. Jimmy didn't say a damn thing because they knew. What was our girl from TikTok? You fucking knew. You fucking knew that they stepped into it. They knew he had a case. They knew he was going to win, whatever lawsuit it was. And I'm still convinced that one of the stipulations of him coming back, the negotiation was like, can you apologize or this and that and the other, or make a statement and blah, blah, blah. He's like, fine. But I bet a raise for everybody on his staff. I bet a raise. I bet they got at least 1%, 2%, 3%, something. Everybody got a raise.
Look it up, but I saw somewhere, and Trump on X made a tweet about
him getting his job back. He was being pissed.
That's fine. I've sued before, and they've had to pay me big money. I can do it again.
I think of his character on South Park. I'm gonna sue for $15 billion. I'm gonna sue you, guy. I don't have a small penis. That's all I hear. That's all I hear. And that's exactly what he was doing. Anyway.
Violates the FCC rules. Does anybody have any doubt that since they're being obedient little lapdogs, that they are absolutely 100% going to get their FCC approval?
After what the Supreme Court said about the FTC yesterday, I'm absolutely positive that Nexstar is going to get exactly what they want, which across the board is not a great precedent because the whole point was to prevent one voice from dominating the American landscape, literally the American landscape. That's why the 39% rule exists. You take that away and suddenly you only hear one side of a story, and that's never.
That Disney has the right. If somebody who's representing them represents something that is completely opposite of their identity is.
My bad. Okay, so I had the mics off for a second. Sorry about that. Recap what we were just talking about, like how the FC. We were talking about the FCC, how the FCC was just doing away with people's rights and how and causing monopolies. How long are we going to allow these things to keep going on? Sorry about that. I had the mic, so I'll edit that out later. That was kind of I forgot that I muted the mic real quick, but all right, I won't do it again. Here we go.
And what their principles are and what their mandate is. I have no problem they do that, but it's different when it's the government. The First Amendment is about the government. It's not about what individuals do or
people were. That's the misunderstanding.
The misunderstanding that people are making. Yeah.
People are pointing out, Roseanne got fired, not by the government.
It wasn't influenced or done by the government.
All these actors. I think Kevin pointed out. He might have, or he changed his comment that James Gunn at some point from
he was fired from Disney. Yeah.
Again,
that was a 100% Disney. Well, you know what? Let me remind y'all what happened. There was a politician that influenced it. James Gunn was talking reckless about a Republican, a senator or a congressperson, and then that congressman or senator, whoever it was, smartly dug into James Gunn's past tweets when Twitter was new and James was just trying to be funny and just going hard, just reckless. And the stuff that he was saying and the jokes that he was making was like real bad, especially post the Me Too era and all that stuff. And, you know, even though James Gunn was calling out the Republicans based on the deplorable things that they were doing, and this one Republican in particular, but that Republican then called James Gunn out on his past tweets. Like, hey, Mr. Liberal, why are you talking like this and joking like this with your old tweets? And it got James Gunn fired. It immediately got him hired with Warner Brothers, and then he got his job back with Disney, and then now he's the studio head of. So it all worked out for James in the end. But it was started or influenced by a person in the government, but that person in the government, all that person did was bring to light what was actually there. And then Disney made a decision in reaction to that. Disney was under no threat because of it or anything like that. They just decided that the only threat that was to Disney was coming from the Me Too era. That's what Disney was really being influenced by. So that's the only difference. It wasn't the government going, fire James Gunn. It was somebody in the government bringing something to light, and then Disney decided to make a bust a move after that. So I don't know. Split hairs. I don't care. And real quick, let me talk about. And people are comparing it to what happened with Gina Carano. Same thing. It's like, well, Disney immediately fired them. I posted something on our channel giving the comparison about the movement, the Go Woke, Go Broke movement in comparison to this First Amendment movement. What's going to be more detrimental to Disney? And overwhelmingly, you're like, well, the Go Woke, Go Broke. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Because, yeah, Gina Carano eventually sued and got a settlement and all that stuff. Yeah, after she was backed by Elon Musk, a billionaire. That was the only reason why she even got any type of leeway against Disney. But when Disney fired Jimmy Kimmel, it didn't go to court. It didn't go to a lawsuit. It didn't go to settlements. It only took 3 or 4 days. They immediately backtracked when their stock started to dip. Jimmy didn't even have to go to court. They came to him. Sorry, Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy, can I get it? Can I rub it? Jimmy's like, yeah, all right. Make sure your hands are warm. You want me to come back? Let's talk about it. They came to him. So it's not comparable. Look at how when Gina Carano, when she got fired and all the movements and all that stuff, where is she at? Is she back on The Mandalorian? No. Jimmy got his job back in 2-3 days. It was barely a suspension. It was a 3-day weekend for him. So why do you think it's comparable? It don't make no damn sense.
What companies do, corporations, it's about protecting their free speech from censorship from the government. And 100%. That's why there is what's the big Republican congressman? He's from Texas.
It was Ted Cruz, senator.
Ted Cruz, the maggiest of the MAGA guys. Ted Cruz said on an interview yesterday, listen, I don't like Jimmy Kimmel. He was honest. He said, I don't like Jimmy Kimmel, and I'm glad that he's gone. This was obviously before they announced that he was going to be back on. He said, I don't like Jimmy Kimmel, and I'm glad he's gone. He said, but.
This isn't just a wallet.
All right. Yeah, he said, but. Let me get that commercial out the way. But when you open that door, it won't be long until they do it, they do it to us. Blah, blah, blah. They're going to do it. They're going to do it to us.
For government to start stepping in and telling broadcasters and entertainers and going after them for having critical views of us, he said, that's scary, and that's not going to be good for us conservatives if we do that. Even Ted Cruz came out and said that. So again, I just think it's going to be really interesting to see how all this kind of goes around and how much further, because this particular administration wants to go after everybody in entertainment who's been critical of the president. And it's going to be interesting to see where our other conservatives are going to step in, like Ted Cruz and hopefully others, are other conservatives going to step in and be the voice of reason and draw a line in the sand? Are the courts going to step in and do their jobs to uphold the Constitution? I don't know.
I'll answer right now. No, they're not. Because they're more worried about them losing their fucking jobs. So what happens? What happens when your plan, if it doesn't work? If the midterms come around as planned, if the next presidential election comes around, forget the fact that it's possible that another Democrat can become president. What happens when the next Republican has to become president? And then that next Republican is going to want the attention on them. And Trump is all like, no, you're going to have to keep sucking it. Just keep sucking it. Make eye contact when you do it. Make it good. And then that Republican nominee or president is going to be like, no, I'm the president now. I'm the captain now. Your time is done. Reagan was considered their greatest Republican of all time. Trump did away with that real quick. He made sure of that. And Reagan was a half decent guy, even though he had his issues too. But Trump, really? You really think that Trump is going to be something that they're going to want to campaign on when it's time for the next Republican leader to come out? No, you can't run on this. He could run on this. It's been proven multiple times no one else can. So why? Why? He's even in his second term. It's over. Why are they? I'll tell you why. Because there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity to solidify it forever. And they want to see if it's possible. But if they get so close to getting it, and if they miss, I just hope that the Democrats, for the first time in their lives, have the balls to give it back to them the way it was, done to them. That's the only reason why the conservatives are doing it the way they do it, because they know the liberals are going to be like, oh, that wasn't nice. I don't like that. But it's all good. Let's be bipartisan now. And that's why. So coming back around, did John Campea go woke? He was, well, technically by that definition, by their definition, yeah, he was always woke. That's how he always felt. And I was glad that he did what he did and what he said what he said, because it's true. Jimmy Kimmel's constitutional rights were violated. His amendment rights were violated. The government influenced all that. Even after he was brought back, Trump even got on the air and was like, let's see what we can do. We're gonna He's not even playing. He's not pretending anymore. He's not pretending. Prior to 2025, all that crap is happening. All right, before we go, let's get out of here real quick. But before we go, we had some comments in there. Can you read them out for me, babe? I don't have my damn glasses. I don't have.
Brianna Jasmine said he clearly threatened Jimmy's show Al Capone style.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah. Kevin Davis said, I do believe Disney wants to get rid of Jimmy, but FCC and Trump administration just sped up the process.
Yeah, I agree. I see another comment there that says it's on YouTube from Peter Cummingson. Do you see that? Mm-mm. He starts off by saying, you clearly didn't listen to what John Campea was saying. You fell for the clickbait. I purposely put that, John Campea go, oh, yeah. I did listen to what John Campea said. I feel you fell for the clickbait. I put it like that because I wanted to make you listen. You thought I wasn't going to agree with John. This is not the Tyrone Magnus channel. I'm not going to go, everything's woke. 10 million subscribers. He's getting nowhere fucking near 10 million subscribers because he sold out to pander to bullshit. This isn't that type of channel. I've never been like that. Why does John live right for free in your head? I'm assuming you were trying to say, why does John live rent free in your head? Because I'm a subscriber and I love his content. I am not against John Campea. John Campea has said that he also likes people who don't always agree with him. He says those are the people he likes to talk with. I don't always agree with him on his movie stuff. and the stuff and some of the controversial things that he's done that I've covered on this channel, I've made it clear that I did not agree with, to the point where I was restricted from, contributing to his channel, which I still subscribe to. That does not mean I don't like his channel. I wake up first thing in the morning, and one of the first videos that I play is the previous video that the John Campea show from the day before that I missed. Every morning. That's the first video that I play. I've never been against. He's my favorite YouTuber. But I think I pissed him off a little bit, ever since, the whole, he poached, our former contributors, and then I got them, and then I got one of his on my channel. It's a one-sided little tit for tat thing with me and John. He doesn't give a fuck about me, but so on my side, I'm like, advantage T3 Medias. But anyway, Peter Cunnington continues. Jimmy Kimmel is a show. He talks about movies and shows. So yeah, Peter Cunnington was, I guess, assuming that I was against John Campea. Anyway, Craig the Tech Guy, what's going on, bro? He comes back to the channel. He goes, I fully support going woke. And then last on the YouTube comment sections, Den71353M says, anyone talking about woke terms in a derogatory manner shows how uneducated you are. 1000% agreed. Ever since they took the definition of woke and they needed to redefine it and turn it into a negative, that's the game plan. That's the gameplay. That's how they do things. They don't want to have to. It's like that thing with like, how, baby, how when people talk about cops, how when people are defending cops, when a cop does something bad, they go, one bad apple shouldn't just mess up the whole bunch. Okay. So, all right. So this asshole cop that did this bad thing, we've established that he's a bad apple. Get rid of him. But they defend them, because that whole concept of, well, if this person who looks like me goes down, then I could. No, the same reason why when a black man commits a crime or does something bad or this and that and the other, I don't go, well, because he looks like me, I got to defend him to the death. No, F that guy. I don't know. And it's like, it throws me off why people will defend the most despicable people for the dumbest reasons, because we can't look weak in front of the libs. It's stupid. There are some people out there who will literally even defend straight up pedos because they can't look weak in front of the libs. Are you fucking insane? Anyway, that's all the comments from YouTube. Is there anything else that was on the other side that we missed, or anything that came in?
Kevin Davis just said,
you said Kevin?
Yeah, if there was no backlash, they wouldn't have brought him back.
Yeah. Oh, that was definitely backlash. Yeah. What was it? $3 billion that deal? Everybody going, we're canceling.
If there was no backlash, then that would have been like, well, clearly nobody does care that he's gone. They're good. They would have indicated that everybody was glad.
Yeah. But that wasn't the case. And when you stepped out, before you came back, I was in juxtaposed to what happened with Gina Carano. How long that took. Because she sued, she got a settlement from Disney, but did she get her job back? No. Is she back on the Mandalorian? No. She got some money? Yes. Well, how did it? What did it take? It took her her legal fees being covered by literally the richest man on the planet, Elon Musk, for her to get that far. It took Jimmy Kimmel an afternoon. He went home on Friday, had his job back by Monday. It was a weekend for him. He didn't even go to court. But on our channel, when I put the poll up, which movement is stronger, the go woke, go broke, or this First Amendment thing, they were like, it's the go woke, go broke movement. No. Because even conservatives agree that what was going on to Jimmy was a step too far, because you're afraid that because Trump has proven time and time again he'll do it to anybody. Like I said, let the next new hotness, the new Republican hotness for president, not kiss Trump's ass enough. You don't think Trump's gonna fuck him up? And I say him because, come on, we know him. You don't think Trump's gonna sabotage him? Come on, kiss it, kiss it. Like, no, I'm the nominee. I'm the president. Oh, really? It'd be a shame if something happened to your campaign. That's exactly what would happen. Any final thoughts, babe? What do you think? Any closing thoughts of what's going on with Jimmy Kimmel, with John Campea?
I'm glad he's back.
I'm glad he's back too. And are you subscribed to the John Campea show as I am?
I don't really subscribe to anything.
She's like, absolutely not. She's like, that's your bromance with John Campea. Your one-sided bromance. Yeah. I joke, but I do like John Campea. I do like his channel. He is my favorite YouTuber. So, but you know, I felt a kind of way about covering content on my channel because people said you're obsessed, but because I like him. And he was right, and I'm glad he said what he said. And since the past things that he's done that upset me, that almost made me unsubscribe to his channel, since I did that video, I'll give him credit. He's never done it since. I'm not saying that he saw my video and didn't stop doing it, but I know he's seen our channel. So at the same time, so all I'll say is he hasn't done it since, and I appreciate it because it wasn't necessary. And so I'm all in. I'm back. I'm 1,000%. I never unsubscribed. I never was against John Campea. I still would like to meet him. I would still like to have a conversation with him, pick his brain, have a chat with him. I'm probably nowhere near his radar. Like, whatever, Chris. If it wasn't for Amy Newman, he'd be like, "Oh, who the fuck are you?" Right? But that's still the same. Oh well. But love you, John. All right, guys. Let us know what you guys all think about this whole situation. What do you think about John Campea's words about his critique of the situation with the FCC, with the Trump administration? What happened with Jimmy Kimmel? The hot and cold the temper of what's going on with our First Amendment rights. How people are being kind of hypocritical about it, and on one side and on the other side, we're really just trying to save ourselves from going a step too far, because once we cross that line, it's going to be hard to come back, no matter who the damn president is, because absolute power corrupts absolutely, and we can't let this happen. But that's just my 2 cents, whatever the hell it's worth. Let me know what you guys think. Just comment below, like, subscribe, as always. Thank you guys for watching, all the people who commented and contributed to the channel. We are doing a lot of great big things happening in the future. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. I'm in talks with Lupe Lopez. I think we finally are going to launch our new segment that I've been trying to get off and going on this channel for a while, the Judgment of Characters. I posted it on social media and on our community tab. Go check that out. The Judgment of Characters. If you have a fictional character or from a movie, TV show that you want to put on trial and have us talk about it, we have a new segment called the Judgment of Characters we're about to launch really, really soon. We're going to start that off with me and Lupe Lopez when she returns back to the channel. So look out for that and contribute to it if you would like to. And babe, if people want to find you online, our sponsor right here, where can they do so?
My TikTok is Viola Fagan, and my Instagram is Scrib Hats and More by Joy.
And if you want to reach out to me, just do it at T3 Media Studios or at Chris W. Fagan on all the socials. Guys, thank you guys for who were in the chats and kept the live entertaining. And until next time, guys, have a good one.